The knowledge part is what you gather from the academia. Little bit of a skill. In fact, Ishwaran asked, do you operate fermenter or do you have any work on fermentation? So all this gives you a little bit of a glimpse of a skill. Because in my opinion, college or academia not necessarily gives you the skill part, but it gives you a lot of knowledge. Now with this knowledge, you travel to the organization. And that's why this last slide in terms of what Biocon Academy can do, or several other mediating not courses, but companies or industry bodies which can build the gap. The reason why these all exist, even Biocon Academy exists, is we see a gap between converting knowledge to skill. Now, is there a formula which can help converting knowledge to skill? Any thoughts? How do you convert knowledge to skill? What do you need for that? Sorry? Passion. Where does the passion comes from? From inner self. So passion. Anything else from students? Assume you're not a student. Okay. What do you need to convert your knowledge? You study here, everything is there. And a lot of skill requirement. Ishwaran beautifully structured it. And what do you need to convert that knowledge to skill? I'm sorry? Laboratory equipment, infrastructure. Yes, one. So infrastructure is there. Will it automatically convert? Practice. To practice, is that everybody practice it equally? Yeah. So if you go deeper, and I don't want to take the time to go deeper into your minds. If you go, finally it will stop at one place, which is attitude. If you don't have an attitude for in you, attitude could be for growth. Attitude could be for winning. Attitude could be for success. If you don't have that, the knowledge doesn't get converted to skill. Otherwise, all your seniors or all of us should have equal skill. We don't. All of us should reach the same heights. We don't. Some master skills faster than others. Somebody has more skills than somebody else. Somebody learns varieties of skill. That's why skills it's called this, right? So somebody learn more, somebody learn less. Why? What is the difference? You all studied in the same college, but we don't reach the same position in your life. So the difference which made to this people who are successful and people who are not so successful, if you go and study that, it will be attitude. Again, he spoke about willingness, will and skill metrics, we call it as an organization, right? And that is how we use the coaching. When we coach people, I'm sure you have coaching for students as well. It's about will and skill, right? In organization. Here maybe will and knowledge part. Ability to learn, will and learn maybe. Some people learn faster, some people learn slower. You look at the willingness, right? It's not the infrastructure. You all have same infrastructure. Same college, same professors. There's a great level of inclusion. Everybody is given a fair treatment or same treatment. Do we end up with all same marks? So what makes the difference? If you crack that, you will understand what I'm saying. It's an attitude. Willingness to learn, willingness to go beyond your comfort zone and create that opportunity for you to make that success. Then every college should have equal marks. But infrastructure is equal. Somebody said infrastructure, right? So if infrastructure is equal, professor is same, everybody should get the same ROI, right? Or IOR. I change it to RTI. What I call it as RTI is written through impact. It is not what you study. It is not what you know. What do you do with what you know? That makes a huge difference. Make sense? It's like you all can know biochemistry, biotechnology. So what do you do with that? 10 years later, we'll tell you. Where have you reached? What have you done with your knowledge? How did you convert into skills? And what attitude you had? So that is called ASK. Attitude, skill and knowledge. Yeah, simple formula is there. The knowledge doesn't get converted into skill unless you have this attitude. So knowledge minus attitude, you will get a glimpse of a skill, but it doesn't allow you to master the skill. If you want to master the skill, you should have an attitude. And focus on attitude while you're learning biotechnology, while you're learning all that technical aspects of your life. But it will not take you to where you want to if you don't have an attitude. It's a big missing piece. Probably that's why colleges like Kumaraguru and many other colleges bring speakers from outside. All of us are here, not to teach you biochemistry, biotechnology. You all know it. We have subject matter expert like Stephen and many other people here. They all will teach you skills. The knowledge. But somewhere you need to understand a little, go deeper and bring out your ability to convert this through your willingness. So probably you need to understand the attitude quotient. Right? If you are able to find that, discover that, see what gaps you have, how much you have to put efforts, and that is what will bring a change. Second, the unfairness in the world is we are not having a same starting point. It's not an equal race, right? Some people start at a line. The end point is same because everybody measures the end point through success, right? Success seems to be 3-4 things which all of us consider that as a success, which could be money, which could be your titles, which could be your whatever you consider as great. But the starting point is not same. One, of course, your learning ability is not same. The attitude is not same. Your family background is not same. It's a very unfair world where we all have different starting point. But we're all competing at one stage with each other. Right? Like Siva's Bits Pilani, with all his experience, if you look at tremendous background he has. I came from Konganadu. I'm not demeaning Konganadu, but I came from not as great as Siva's. But at the end of the day, we're all in the same company with the same cause. But there are a little bit of a growth competition comes. But the starting point is not same. So then if your starting is at the government school, I studied in a government school, right? Then Konganadu Arts College, I did only BSc, so I went and I did a BSc Biochemistry, by the way. Then went and joined in the manufacturing at a lower level. But then after some time, all this doesn't matter. So you're in a competition for your self-growth and compete with people around, and the attitude becomes very important. Then knowledge no more helps. It's only entry point, knowledge. You can keep adding knowledge, but unless it converts into skill, it's going to be a problem, right? So second point is attitude, skill, knowledge is the first point. Second is the starting point is not same. Third, I want to leave you with Stephen Covey's second habit. If you have not heard of him, Google. He says, begin with the end in the mind. So it's not about the starting excitement, right? I'll connect that to career points which Ishwaran was saying. It's not about where do you start. It's about how do you end. Right? The end is what matters. Starting, you can be slow. You could have lost the starting point. But at the end, if you're winning, that's what it matters. So I want to leave you with these 3 things, right? ASK. Second is, it's not a fair race. So your attitude matters a lot, or willingness matters a lot. Third, begin with the end in the mind. Otherwise, whatever you do will not take you to where you want to go. Right? So with that, one aspect which today morning I was thinking, ASK is repeatedly spoken. If I want to add one more thing, I want to add I. I ask. I is inclusion. Inclusion not necessarily means the diversity, equity, inclusion that all of us are. That's very important. I think my request to professors is you should have the diversity, equity, inclusion. After all, I'll be talking to some of the students. Bring that mindset from here. There is something called self-inclusion. In my research comes from speaking to people. I speak to all generations. I don't identify as gender. If somebody asks, you're a male or a female, unless it is a form, I don't fill it. I say, I'm genderless. Right? The reason is, in LinkedIn also I put it as human being. So I've gone beyond gender, generation, doesn't matter what age is yours. So that's my personal story. But the point I'm trying to make is self-inclusion is important. Many students fail or did not make it bigger because of self-bias. You have your own stereotyping saying, I'm not good at this, I can't do this, I don't have this, and I'm weak in this area. This is called self-stereotyping because you're not including yourself enough, because you have doubt on yourself, self-doubts. I'll tell you, if you're going to find around, a lot of people will have self-doubts. So if you're able to come out of that, self-include, that's the I, inclusion part. That will make a lot of difference in your career. So I want to end with IASK, right? It's inclusion and attitude, skill, and knowledge. I think if you have this, you would crack your life code, right? So with that, I want to leave you with a story. My favorite story, Siva would have heard it before. There was a guy who wanted to go around the world, right? He was looking for a vehicle which can take him to wherever he wants. And he's also an environment-friendly guy, so he didn't want to waste money on petrol because he wanted carbon emission and all this. So it's become an ESG joke now. So now, because I moved into ESG from May 1st, I'm taking ESG as my role. So environment is now, all stories I bring environment now. Okay, so this guy wanted to go around. He prayed to God to give a vehicle. So God appeared in front of him and said, hey, here is the vehicle. You can take it and go, and it's a horse. And the beauty of this horse is it can run in supersonic speed. And you can take and use it and return it to me. That's the God's request. So this guy said, beautiful, right? It meets his criteria of doesn't want to create carbon emission. So he got into the horse. He wanted to start. The God said, listen, there is a code language for this. If you say, oh my God, it'll start. The more you say, oh my God, and oh my God, and oh my God, it'll go. It'll gallop to whatever speed you want. The number of times you say, that is the speed of the horse. The guy was very excited. Simple. It's not a big deal. It's a knowledge, like teachers teach you, right? You got the knowledge. Then also God said, listen, you'll have to say thank you, God, to stop. Because human beings, we don't show enough gratitude, right? So God also knows that. So say thank you, God, and it'll stop. So he said, simple code language. I got the knowledge part, right? So now comes the skill part. So he got into the horse and then said, oh my God, it started going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It was going in an ultrasonic speed and enjoying the speed. He went wherever he wanted. In that excitement, he wanted to end the journey in the Himalayan mountains. So he was going up in the hill. Even at the steep hill, the speed did not reduce. It's a magical horse. It was going at that same speed, and finally, he realized that mountain is coming to the end. Now he has to stop. With the excitement, he forgot what to say for stop, and he's saying, stop, stop, and he's screaming, and horse doesn't understand, right? It's a code language. So he was holding the reins, and he was pulling the horse. Nothing happened. It was going the same speed. And end of the mountain reached almost like a cliff, where the two legs are in the air, two on the ground. And that last fraction of a second, he realized he has to say, thank you, God, and it stopped. So it is like this. So he just slowly peeped down and said, oh my God. It's a huge valley, right? Oh my God. So it jumped. So most of the time, this is what happens when you come to corporate. You think you know everything because the knowledge is there. And you come into the organization, there is a cultural aspect. You find it difficult. That's why he asked some brilliant questions. How many of you are mobile? You saw those biotech industries. Are you willing to go? Many people want everything next to the house. I can't leave Coimbatore, right? I can't leave this South Indian food. I can't go and be away from parents. Suddenly the parents' love comes. Until then, when you don't even go home, right? All the time you're out in the hostel, friends and all this. The minute you want to go to North, no, I can't leave my parents. I'm missing my parents after going there. So all of this makes you puts your career in a very defined, a smaller space. If you're open, it's going to create more opportunities, right? So with that, if any questions, I'll take it. Otherwise, remember, ask. It's not a fair race, so you have to compete more. Third, begin with end in the mind. Last, inclusion. The self-inclusion is going to be very important for you. So this adds compliments to what Dr. Ishwaran said. So any questions for me? Unless, Stephen, you're going to moderate a question and answer session for us. Okay, then we will take the questions later. Since I asked, I want to be inclusive. So, anyone? She stood up for a question, or you want to go out? Okay, thank you. Great. So we'll take the question a little later. Thank you.